Hey guys, it's Yvette, and I am back with the small size Clue 4 for the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery for 2018, This Way and That Way. Okay, so this is Clue 4, and I have laid out all of the strips and the pieces that they have sent to us, pretty much the same way that it is on the sheet here. And okay, so we're ready to go. The first part that I'm going to do is sections D1 and D2. We are making two sections the same, okay? So we're going to start with our triangles. So let me move these around a little bit. Apologies for the noise outside. My husband is still working in the yard. Okay, the number 1 fabric is this one. Okay, so I'm going to put that right there. Number 6 is this guy, and this is number 4. Okay, so I'm going to have a number 1 turned this way, a number 6 turned that way, a number 4 turned this way, and then again a number 1 turned that way. Okay, so that is the, let me kind of make that, scooch that up a little bit so you can see it better. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch here with a scant 1/4 inch. I'm going to stitch here with a scant 1/4 inch, and then once I've pressed those out, I'm going to stitch here with a scant 1/4 inch, and I'm going to make 2 of those. Okay, so I have to sneeze. One moment. Oh my goodness, hold up. Okay. So I'm going to make 2 of those. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to mark my seam allowances, and then I'm going to meet you guys over at the sewing machine, and we'll get those started. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I am here. I have taken all of these triangles. I have marked my scant 1/4 inch, which, just a reminder, is to, when you're marking your 1/4 inch, okay, and you have your 1/4 inch line, I make sure that my 1/4 inch line is on the outside of the fabric. Okay, so you don't want to line it up right with the edge of your fabric, because you have to allow for the width of your pin mark, or whatever it is that you're using to mark. So you want to make sure that that line is outside of the fabric. You don't want to mark it on the fabric. And then you'll mark your line, and then when you go to sew, you'll actually sew just inside that line, because that will help to sort of compensate for the thickness of your needle as well. So that's how we sort of get to a scant 1/4 inch. If you are part of this mystery quilt, every single week, every single month when you get your pieces, Cotton Cuts does give you a great way to make sure that you are getting a scant 1/4 inch. So if you follow those instructions and you're getting a scant 1/4 inch, then that's how you should proceed. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start stitching, and I'll probably speed things up, and I will chain stitch. Okay. Okay, so now I have finished sewing together these 4 pieces. I'm going to go over to the ironing board. I'm going to press these open, not open, but I'm going to press them, and then I'm going to mark them to join the 2 together, so we'll have 2 separate pieces. I will be right back at the sewing machine in just a moment. Okay guys, so I'm back, and I have the 2 squares, or the 2 triangles that will make 2 squares. 4 triangles that will make 2 squares. And I have my 1/4 inch line marked, and I am ready to sew. So let's get going. so I have these 2 squares that are finished. I'm going to go and press them, and then I am going to bring over the next 2 pieces that are going to attach to these squares, and I will be right back. Okay guys, so I am back, and what I had to do was I took the 2 squares that we just made, and we are adding a number 3 fabric to the right side of each one of them. Okay, so I've already just sort of put it there and drew my 1/4 inch line, and I am now ready to sew. So here we go. Okay, so here we have attached them, and of course this is the way it's going to lay. So our number 3 fabric has been attached to the right side of our square. I will go ahead and run over to the ironing board. I'm going to iron this seam, and then we're going to go to the next step. So I will be right back. Okay, so now I'm back. I have finished the 2 squares with the the 2 squares with the extra sewn on. These are the 2 squares. I'm setting these aside just for a second. And these are the 2 next pieces that we are going to put together. This is the 3.5 inch square of fabric 5 that I'm going to sew to a 3.5 by 6.5 rectangle of fabric number 1. And we're going to make 2 of those. So what I'm going to do first is I will put these together as such. I will sew here, and I'll do the same here, sew there, and then we're going to attach these pieces onto the squares that we've put aside. So I will be right back at the sewing machine. Okay, so I'm back with those 2 pieces. I have marked my seam line, and I'm ready to sew. Okay, so I have these 2 sewn together. I'm going to first go and feed Mr. Jellybean because he's jumping all over me and wanting to eat right now. So I'm going to go feed Jellybean. I'm going to come back, and I'm sure Sammy and Smudgy are going to have some dinner too. So I'll come back, I'll do the pressing, and then we will see what the next step is. I think this gets attached somewhere to the squares that we just made, so I will be right back. Okay, so now I'm back, and I have attached the pieces that we have just sewn together to our square. I'm just going to call it a square, okay? So I've attached it on the bottom in this way. So your number 1 fabric and your number 1 fabric are going to be together. And then your number 6 fabric, or sorry, this is number 5 fabric, and your number 3 fabric are going to be together. So I have those both ready, and I have already marked my seam, so I will sew those together now. Okay, so I have finished sewing these together. I'm going to head over to the ironing board, and I'm going to press this, and then I'm going to see what the next step is. I think we're in the home stretch, guys, almost there. Okay guys, so I'm back, and those first 2 squares that we finished up are actually going to be labeled D1 and D2, so those are ready to go. And I think it's really funny that it says these sections should measure 9.5 inch square, and I mean they just made it. And this was with me doing that scant 1/4 inch, which I thought I was being crazy about, but apparently not. So anyway, this is the next section, or the next 2 sections that we are working on. We will have the little 2 inch by 3.5 inch, and that is number 2. this is our number 2 fabric right here. And the 2 on the outside, which are 3.5 inch square, these are number 3. And then these ones in the middle are number 4. So this is the order in which we have to sew them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mark my scant 1/4 inches, and I will get those ready and I'll bring them over to the sewing machine. So I will be right there. Okay guys, so I'm back. I've just made little stacks out of those pieces so that this is the order in which I want to sew them, and I have already marked the 1/4 inch. So, sorry, a little bit of coffee there. So now I'm ready to go. I am going to chain piece them, and anyway, let's get started. Okay, so now I've stitched all of these together, and I'm going to head over to the ironing board. I'm going to press this, and then I think we only have 2 more pieces to add to each one, and we're done for the night. So I will be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back, and I have pressed my 2 strips here. And now I'm going to take the 15.5 inch by 2 inch strips that they gave us, and we're going to attach one on the bottom and one on the top. And I've already marked my 1/4 inch seam, so let's get going. Okay guys, so I have sewn on the top and bottom pieces as requested by the pattern. And so I'm going to go over and I'm going to press these, and then I'll hang all of my pieces on my project wall, and I will show you the final results from tonight. The last thing that I wanted to say before I close this up for the night is I just wanted to clear up a few things that I probably, well, that I know I've said, and I refer all of these comments that I make to myself. I don't know any of you guys. I don't mean to make you feel that I am judging you in any way because of whether you, how you sew or how you prepare to sew or anything like that. So when I make comments about my having to mark seams as I do, that's just for me. And because I just, first of all, for my personality type, if I don't mark, I tend to do things way too fast, and, well, I just messed them up there. So for me to control myself and how I do things, I need to mark my seams. If you do not mark your seams, I am definitely not saying that you're going to mess up, or that something's going to be wrong with your sewing or anything like that. We all have a different procedure, and I do not think that when someone doesn't mark their seams that there's anything wrong with them or their process in how they sew. We all have our own way. If my way doesn't work for you, please, you know, don't use that. I just want to let you guys know I'm certainly not trying to offend anyone out there. If I say anything that people construe as negative, it's usually just directed at myself. So please don't be offended by anything. I'm really not, you know, I think that if I could sew all of this stuff and never mark a seam and just use a 1/4 inch foot and feel confident, that would be great. But that's just not me. I don't feel confident without marking. So that is just a personal Yvette thing. If you don't want to mark and if you don't have to mark and your stuff comes out awesome, then I think that is great. And I sure wish I could, but I can't. So anyway, I just wanted to apologize if anyone was offended by anything I say. I never ever mean to offend a single soul, swear to goodness. So anyway, I'm going to go over, I'm going to press these 2 pieces, and then I'm going to hang them on my project wall and show you guys everything, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm just filming this last part with my cell phone, with my hands. So hopefully it's not too shaky or anything. But these are the pieces that we have completed for now with the small quilt. And I am Team Ballet, also Team Jellybean. We don't want to forget that. But those are my pieces, and I have them all labeled and stuck up on my project wall. And here's my little cheat sheet. Let me see if I can zoom in. Since I'm using my phone, I don't want to get too close, but I have my little cheat sheet hanging up on the wall. That's helping me as I go along to know where to put my pieces. I think they've got this great thing going. You know, just my opinion, but I mean, they've got this down. I mean, they give us this little project card. We know what all of our pieces are. We know exactly what to label them. I mean, this is my first time, so I'm having a good experience. I hope you guys are as well. I do know that those 2 in the middle there, that I did them wrong. I know. I'm going to mention that every time that I show them because I don't want to freak anybody out. Mine is wrong. Yours is correct. It was supposed to be... Jellybean, what are you doing? Jellybean has got himself caught in a bag. You know how like they get in a bag? It's like the little handles that are on a Starbucks bag? Yeah, so he got his head in the handle and now he can't get out. Yeah, anyway, you guys know what I mean. Let me go and get the cat out. Oh, he got himself out. Jeez, Jellybean. Oh my goodness. Hold up, I'll show you Jellybean. JB, where are you, buddy? This is true picture of my sewing room here. Fabric everywhere. Hey, buddy. Yeah, everybody wants to say hi. Do you want to say hello? Where'd you go? You left. Jellybean. Hey, buddy. Come on this side, bud. Come on, say hello. Oh, here he comes. Hey, buddy. Jellybean. Do you want to look over here? Not really? No? He's still getting out of the bag. Okay. Last picture. Get a little bit closer. Yeah, so I'll see you guys later. Have a great evening, and I'll see you next month. Bye.